Part 12. The Crown Prince and the Majesty Emperor felt a headache when they saw Ming Yu's letter. While the two were discussing the letter that Ming Yu was thinking about entered the capital at this time. The Crown Prince Ming Yi heard a letter from Liangcheng, and was still surprised that his 14th brother would even send him a letter, which is indeed extremely rare. Now, he wants to see if this younger brother is not used to regretting it when he first arrived in Liangcheng. When he opened the letter, Ming Yi swept through the letter with one glance and 10 lines. It was a little incredible. He read it again. After reading this carefully, Ming Yi's brows furrowed. This 14th brother, why did he think about going to Jingji? Doing business in the western regions? This is something that the ancestors have not allowed since the founding of the country. What is he doing? The Crown Prince's worried expression was in the eyes of Lao Shishi, the Crown Prince's assistant, and he couldn't help asking, "What is the Crown Prince doing?" What happened in Prince Duan's letter? This Lao Shishi has been studying with Ming Yi since he was a child. Now he is also working in the Crown Prince's mansion. Ming Yi has always been kind to him, and he does not hide many things from him. He also helps Ming Yi with a lot of ideas. It can be said that the Crown Prince has come all the way, and this confidant can be said to have contributed greatly. When Lao Shishi asked, the Crown Prince handed the letter to him without paying much attention. Let's take a look. After Lao Shishi read it, he was also surprised. Crown Prince, why does His Royal Highness 14th Prince have this? Such an idea? Ming Yi shook his head and didn't speak. To be honest, he had never understood this fellow brother. In the palace, where is the real brotherhood? None of his brothers are safe. He is a crown prince, and he knows that he is alone from the time he is sensible and no aid. He has always been cautious, for fear of being squeezed out by his so-called brothers, or accidentally stabbed in the back by someone else. In the eyes of others, the position of the crown prince is a sweet potato, but only he knows that this position is actually a hot potato. The heights are very cold. Ming Yu is his mother's compatriot, and he has been stupid since childhood, but he is quite close to him. Sometimes he thought about how nice it would be if this fellow brother was a normal person, at least in this hypocritical palace. The 14th brother could help him and prevent him from fighting alone. And sometimes he was glad that his younger brother was a fool, which would make people feel at ease. It is precisely because of this that he also treats this younger brother with some sincerity. He once thought that after 100 years from his father, he will inherit that position logically, and then let the 14th younger brother sit back and relax as his idle prince. How do you know that the 14th brother has been begging the father to go to Liangcheng? And now there is such a scene. What should people do? If you are criticized by someone who has a heart, you will not be able to please yourself. Ming Yi was feeling embarrassed, thinking about whether to send a letter to persuade his 14th brother to give up this idea, and heard Lao Shishi say, "But the idea of the 14th Highness is really good." Ming Yi looked at Lao Shishi in confusion. Lao Shishi tapped the letter with his finger and said, "The 14th Highness's plan on the above is well written, and even in terms of future profit sharing, I have to say that this benefit is very attractive." Ming Yi smiled bitterly. How attractive is it? Is not empty talk. His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, looks very beautiful on the surface, but he raises literati, attracts and makes friends with the ministers in the court. Which one does not need to spend a lot of money? Although he also has a farmhouse under his name, he has felt that he cannot make ends meet over the years. His Royal Highness, I think this is indeed a way to make money, and you don't have to take much risk. Lao Shishi handed the letter back to Ming Yi and said. Ming Yi's eyes lit up, and he hurriedly asked, "How do you say this?" Lao Shishi pondered for a while, and then said, His 14th Highness asked you to provide some goods such as porcelain, silk, and tea, and he is responsible for everything else. Crown Prince, your shop is not without these, so give the 10th a backlog of old goods. The 4th master will deal with it, and at that time, if you earn several times or even dozens of times, you will be able to share half of the profits, so why not do it? In the letter, Ming Yu has already said that the future benefits will be divided into 50% and 50%. So it seems that there is no risk. As far as 10,000 steps back, if there is any loss of these goods, they are just old goods that are not worth a few silver coins. But in this way, you have helped the 14th Highness. And the 14th Highness will only be more grateful. It is also more affectionate to you. Indeed, Ming Yi nodded, and Shu Shi continued. His 14th Highness can still think of the Crown Prince when he is outside, which shows that your place in his heart is very important. Crown Prince has not always been if you want some help. Now that the 14th Highness is offing a party, why is it not the help of the Crown Prince? Ming Yi frowned. If the 14th younger brother were to be entrusted to the vicinity of Jingji or the rich land in the south, he would be a help, but he actually went to Liangzhou. What can Liangzhou have? A barren land, alas. It's not that he didn't persuade the 14th younger brother at first, but his brother refused to listen to people's words and insisted on going there. Haha. I can't say that. Crown Prince, didn't His 14th Highness think of a way to make money now? Shu Shi was still very optimistic about the plan mentioned in Ming Yu's letter. Furthermore, in the eyes of this minister, His Highness 14th is very different from before. His stupidity is not as rumored. Ming Yi nodded in agreement. The 14th brother's stupidity was young and fashionable. And obviously, under the careful adjustment of the imperial doctor, he has greatly improved. But now his thoughts are out of tune with everyone, and his behavior is different. It's just that this has never happened before. And it goes against the rules of the ancestors. Ming Yi was still worried. This minister thinks otherwise. Why don't the Crown Prince show the letter to His Majesty Emperor? You don't have to take any risks or worry about the criticism of those who have the heart after this matter has passed through His Majesty Emperor's hands. Moreover, the Crown Prince is worried that his younger brother will also be able to leave a brother in front of His Majesty Emperor. Younger brother achievements good impression. If Your Majesty Emperor agrees, you don't have to be constrained. Ming Yi's eyes lit up, and he happily patted Shu Xi's shoulder. Okay, my minister is thoughtful, it is indeed a good way, solitary. Just do as you say. The emperor also felt a headache when he saw Ming Yu's letter. The old 14th bastard complained about poverty at the beginning of the letter. But he also filled it from his own private bank a lot. How long has it been? Just wrote another letter saying that it is about to drink the northwest wind, which is simply out of line. In the letter, the old 14 sincerely said that he didn't want to burden his father and emperor, and even said that he wanted to earn money to support himself. If it was placed on an ordinary old father, a foolish son could think of not dragging down his family and still want to earn money. I'm afraid I'll wake up laughing when I fall asleep. However, now the old 14th is so nonsense, obviously just want to piss off his father. Looking at the way he thought of making money, he actually went to other small countries in the western regions to do business. Where is this what the dignified prince of the Dayan Country should do? The emperor blew his beard and stared at him angrily. After a while, he calmed down but began to worry again. The old 14th is in a desolate and war-torn land, which is better than the south. Why? His son is a little stupid, but he is sincere. He has just arrived in a new place, and everything needs to start from scratch. It is normal for the expenses to be large. If you don't go up, isn't that hitting your old face? The emperor secretly wondered, should he help this son with some gold and silver rewards in the past? However, everyone in the palace is staring at him as an emperor. If he deliberately sends gold and silver rewards for no reason, no one will be convinced, right? He is not the only son. If other people in the harem make trouble, he will have no peace. When I was thinking about it, the Crown Prince Mingyi came over. What did the Crown Prince come to do at this time? The emperor was surprised and immediately let people in, just in time to help come up with ideas. After Mingyi saluted, he explained his intentions. Your Majesty, the 14th brother wrote a letter to Sun Minister, saying that he has something to ask Sun Minister. After reading the letter, Sun Minister was unsure. I also asked the royal father to decide. After speaking, he put Mingyu's letter in his hands, and the chief eunuch presented the letter. Hearing what Mingyi said, the emperor was also curious about what old 14 wrote in the letter to the crown prince. I took it over and read it again. I couldn't help being angry and laughing. This old 14, how to complain in the letter to himself, but in the letter to the crown prince, he said how to do business with the crown prince, how to make money, how to share profits. I haven't done it yet, as if the money is already in my pocket. The emperor's face is full of vicissitudes. His father and emperor can't compare to his crown prince and brother. This difference is not too different, right? He couldn't help but feel uneasy. Old 14, this bastard, it's just a nonsense. Mingyi secretly glanced at the emperor's expression. Not really angry, and persuaded. Father, the 14th brother is away from the capital for the first time. It is normal for him to be stretched for a while in such a remote place. He has this idea, and he wants to come here so as not to worry about the father and the emperor. The emperor was already complaining, but after hearing this, the original annoyance turned into a distressed, alas. I can't help my son. At first, I was determined not to listen to advice and went to a hard place. Now that I'm better, I regret it? Just regret is useless. Emperor Chrysostom said. No matter how capricious it is impossible to change it. Father, the Queen Mother went early. The 14th brother has been tired and stupid since he was a child. He hasn't even seen the Mother Queen a few times. If the mother is still there. Mingyi's voice was a little choked. My son is crazy about the 14th brother. For a few years, I have been more fortunate than my 14th brother with the care of my mother. Mingyi really felt that, thinking of the mother who had gone early, he was also heartbroken. If the mother was still there, why would their brothers be in the current situation? Now the 14th younger brother is in difficulty. As the eldest brother, Sun Minister should help. This Sun Minister also has a little income from the Grange shop. It is better to convert some money and send it there, Mingyi said cautiously. The emperor also thought of Empress Yuan, and felt very sad. He waved his hand. You, Crown Prince, is too careful, unlike the old 14 who dares to rush. It's okay, it's okay. How long will you be able to fill up your Zhuangji shop? Mingyi's face turned red. He was used to being cautious, and he couldn't learn the fearless temperament of the 14th brother. Maybe it was such a unique 14th brother that the royal father would like it from the bottom of his heart? After all, in the palace, everyone would wear a mask to live their lives. But the 14th brother who was different was always real and enviable. Your brothers have always had a deep relationship, and it's good to help. It's not impossible for the old 14 to make money. He will find a way to do it no matter what. Instead of blocking it, it's better to follow his wishes. The emperor, knowing Mingyu's temperament, don't give up until he achieves his goal, otherwise he will not be allowed to go to the bitter cold land of Liangzhou. In his words, he has agreed to let the crown prince help the old 14, which is to agree with Mingyu's plan. The emperor's meaning was clearly understood by Ming Yi. I will follow the father's teaching, and I have the goods that the 14th brother needs, so he will arrange for someone to send it to the 14th brother. It's just that the 14th brother said that the profit is shared. The sons do not take a penny and leave it all to the father emperor, so that all the sons and ministers will be filial. He said all the words he had thought about on the road. This remark finally made the emperor feel happy, and smiled. How can I covet your things? It's good that you have this heart, so let's take some unused silk from the private treasury. Satin china, send it along with you. I don't care whether you two brothers will make a profit or loss in the future. No one can say anything if he fills the old 14 so indiscriminately. Who knows if he made a foolish decision about this business plan proposed by the old 14. What happened? The next mess, the father and emperor himself can also take care of him. As for the rules of the ancestors, can he still not be clear? There are no express rules, so the old 14 likes to mess around, so let him do it. Come on. Ming Yi was overjoyed, bowed and saluted. Thank you, Father Emperor. Although the emperor said that he would not participate in everything, Ming Yi had already made up his mind. It's okay if the deal was unsuccessful. If he can continue to do it in the future and make a profit, he will eventually get this share for the 14th brother. Take out half of it to honor the father. The 14th brother is not by the father's side. Now the father can still think about the 14th. However, the crown prince's heart is unpredictable. Thunder, rain and dew are all graces. He can see clearly, so he will be careful not to take a wrong step. Since the 14th brother can't think of this, then as a brother, he should think more rationally for him. The matter has passed the emperor's mouth, and it is considered to have passed the bright road. In this way, others will not dare to say any bitter words. At this time, Ming Yi didn't know how far-sighted his decision was. In the future, when Ming Yu's caravan grows bigger and bigger, its profits will even be envied by the emperor, let alone others. However, in the name of the emperor, it is impossible for others to get jealous even if they want to intervene. When Ming Yu's wings gradually grew, and he gained a firm foothold in Liangzhou, no one dared to move. With Ming Yu's strong backing, he was firmly seated as the crown prince, and no one among the many brothers could shake his position.